So finally guys, I'm sharing my thoughts on Pikmin 4 after approximately 2 weeks on and off of playing this game. And honestly, still to this day, Nintendo are the kings of first party titles. And they're the kings of maximizing their hardware. Let's talk about it. So maybe let's start out. Now I know it's only September, but 2023 has been absolutely savage for games, lads. Let's be real about this. It's been incredibly hard to keep up with the amount of titles. I haven't played half of what I'd like to have played this year. But for anyone who watches this channel regularly, they know I'm a strategy fan. So Pikmin 4 was always going to be on my radar this year. I absolutely loved Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 3. I've not actually played 2 to note, but 1 and 3 were absolutely fantastic titles. And what was so fantastic about those is they know how to build worlds. They just know how to build living, breathing worlds. And the second thing is, they just know how to maximize the hardware that's in front of us. Weirdly, Pikmin 4 is one of the best looking games of 2023, and that is sitting on aging hardware, that being the Nintendo Switch. So what I'm going to try and do today is I'll showcase the game in, let's say, a day in the life of Pikmin. So essentially the structure of Pikmin 4 is a day and night cycle of carrying out particular tasks and or objectives within a given time frame, and then ultimately returning home safely to your main base with progress made. And how you start a day is you select an area to explore, you go to that area, and that day or night cycle starts. And then you have a set time period to complete X amount of objectives, get resources, get new upgrades, find additional team members, and then ultimately bring everybody safely back to your main base before the day ends. And in order to carry out all these objectives, you need to use your Pikmin. So basically, they're the workhorses of the entire game. So the Pikmin come in a variety of different colours, and they each have their own special abilities, and the further you get into the game, the more you unlock. You can basically command them to do various tasks. They can gather materials, they can fight enemies, they can build bridges, they can knock down walls, they can help you solve puzzles, and they can also open up different areas of exploration or create shortcuts within the given map that you're in. Now, the most important design aspect in Pikmin 4 is its pacing, believe it or not. The pacing of Pikmin and how it introduces mechanics is perfectly designed in Pikmin 4 in particular, and definitely more approachable than the other games for newcomers, I find. It's the subtlety too of how it introduces things day by day. You're constantly training, you're constantly learning. It's like an ongoing subtle tutorial. Like even 10 hours into the game, I was still getting hints, guidance, and introduction to new mechanics the further I played. The control scheme in general from a basic standpoint is very intuitive, very comfortable to play. Now I played this with the Pro controller, and I found the best experience there. I've not actually played it with the touchscreen and or handheld mode. I've been playing it docked, and that's how I found the game to be most playable for me. And Pikmin 4 is all about task management, and as you get more comfortable with the controls, you also get more comfortable at doling out multiple tasks at the same time. Like you could essentially be breaking down a wall, collecting resources, at the same time you could be attacking an enemy or solving a puzzle. And as I said, you get more comfortable with this, it actually becomes much more easier to do multiple tasks. You'll find yourself kind of slowing down at first and taking on one thing at a time. But as you progress further into the game, you start to learn more of the mechanics, you get more comfortable, and then you start taking on multiple tasks. And it's really this task management that makes this game so addictive. Every time I've been playing this game, I've been like, one more day or one more objective. And it's been really, really hard to put it down. So that's just down to the fundamental brilliant gameplay design that Nintendo have actually nailed here in Pikmin 4. And the other great thing here as well is, and if you compare it to Pikmin 1, there's no restriction how many days you can actually complete the game. In Pikmin 1, you had a set amount of days, which is 30 days in order to escape the planet. But in this case, you don't, and it just allows you to play at your own pace as well. So if you like the design makeup of Pikmin 1 and you wanted to kind of frantically get through the game and carry out as many objectives as you can as quick as possible time, or in the same day, let's say, and get as much as you can done in an area, you can do that. Or if you're like me, I actually just love to explore the whole planet in general, every single environment, every single nook and cranny. You can do that. You can do that at your own pace. You could maybe nail 5 or 6 objectives in the day, and come back again. And that to you is in your control as well. You don't necessarily have to let the day expire. You can end the day at any point in time, and you can still feel at the end of your play session that you've actually achieved something in this game. And I think that's also a lost art with a lot of these open world games, etc., or games filled with padding. Nothing felt like padding in Pikmin 4. And as I said, let's say you had 2 hours in the evening to play this game, no more than that. You will come out at the gameplay session after 2 hours and feel like, wow, I actually progressed in that game. So when you complete your day, you get gradings. It gives you basically a rundown of what you've done in that day, what you've gathered, and if you've carried out any of the main objectives, it'll progress the story that way. So the next day arrives and you can basically talk to some of the guys that you've rescued, and then you unlock opportunities like being able to train your little dog here, so your little dog companion that's in the game, not just the Pikmin. You can use points that you've used, or objective points that you've unlocked, to upgrade your dog, as one example. Or maybe you feel like utilizing some of the resources that you've gathered to buy some new gear or new items. So every day really feels rewarding. You're unlocking something new and you're progressing into the next day as an improved, let's call it, Pikmin army. So maybe let's finish up our coverage on Pikmin 4 by finishing on this point. There's been so many fantastic games this year. I've been battling in my head which have been my favourite games so far, and I said it's only September. Resident Evil 4 Remake, System Shock 2 Remake being some of my favourite games this year. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was another one, but I actually think Pikmin 4 on the Nintendo system has probably been the best release. I actually think it's a better game overall than Tears of the Kingdom from a design makeup point of view and pure fun standpoint. And that's a credit to Nintendo's, again, first party titles. I do genuinely hope that this doesn't get forgotten about or get lost in the sea of other great titles this year, because this does deserve a Game of the Year shout, in my opinion. Anyway guys, let me know what you think. If you played Pikmin 4, have you enjoyed it as much as I have? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to me, supporting, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.